Hey there, party people. Anybody that might be back for the restream. Today is Monday. It is the 20th of December, and I wanted to make a couple of quick predictions here about what's going to happen. Biden is addressing the nation tomorrow. He has, I don't want to get in any trouble now, so you guys are going to have to read between the lines. We're going to say Jabby McJabbersons. We will, point to the Pokey Pokerson, things like that. I don't want to say the V word because it would get me kicked off for, saying words that are sciencey. But if I'm not like their special sciencey kind of science, then that's trouble. So here is what the White House has released. We are intent on not letting Omicron disrupt work and school for the Jabby McJabbersons. You've done the right thing, and we will get through this. But for the unjabby McJabbered, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death. For yourselves, your families, and the hospitals you may soon overwhelm. Okay, so this is obviously super hyperbolic. The unvaccinated are not dying in mass. They just are not. But that's okay. We're not going to necessarily talk about that. So here's what we are going to talk about. There is a power structure within the government that is intent on destroying the middle class, which is going to also include all of our economies, all of our schools, all of our institutions. If any of you are students of American history, and nobody is anymore, which is how we got here, you will know that we are headed, of course, for another great collapse, a second Great Depression. Some people would call it a reset, a financial reset of sorts. Other folks would go ahead and categorize this as being something more along the conspiracy lines of a new world order, an evil cabal of people that are working behind the scenes in the shadow government to overtake the nations and yada yada. And that's certainly a valid opinion too, because I'm not ready to discount anything ever since 2020. Okay, but here's my prediction. We really have to be careful. We really have to be careful. What I believe is going to happen is that there are going to be travel restrictions that are going to be announced again. There will also be some action regarding the schools. Look at my crap. Yeah. Some action regarding the schools and the unvaccinated. I had to say the word. I'm going to be flagged anyway, probably for this, so I don't think it matters too much. They are going to do what they did with. They're going to do what they did with. They're going to do what they did with the vaccine mandates in the workplace, and even though they know that eventually that those. Even though they know that eventually that those mandates or executive orders or whatever it is that he's going to announce, that those things are in fact going to be knocked down because they are unconstitutional, he's still going to have his way because schools and work places have already instituted these things. So what I'm attempting to do is to actually make a quick video to say that we are screwed. It's FUBAR. At this point, I think everybody's best bet is to cut and run, become as self-reliant as possible, especially if you have no plans on getting the Jabby McJabberson. You are going to be ostracized from society, and within the next couple of years, 5, 10, maybe, it's not going to take that long though, but within the next couple of years, you will even not be allowed to shop, or it will be much like things are in Germany right now, that they have literal chain link fence up separating the vaccinated from the unvaccinated in the marketplace, because apparently the COVID molecules, the chain link stops them. And that's kind of how the masks work too. Like it just like recognizes the authority, Respect my authority. And that's how that works. Science. It's science. Mm-hmm. So friends, this is Dana. I am attempting to make this video just to make a quick prediction about Biden's announcement tomorrow. Today is Monday. It is December 20th. Tomorrow will be December 21st, which is an interesting date for this major announcement about a dark winter that should be coming our way for the unvaccinated only, apparently. We we are at a point where they're going to go ahead and attempt to segregate society. This is what happens before any authoritarian regime really resorts to using brute force. I don't know how that's going to go over here. I feel like we have a lot of protective folks, and we have some elements to our Constitution that they haven't managed to do away with yet. So I have one of two things to predict. Either Biden's announcement is going to include massive vaccine mandates that he knows are unconstitutional, but much like the vaccine mandates that he did through OSHA, he knows that these things are going to be challenged and struck down in the courts. But at that point, businesses and schools have already enacted these vaccine requirements into their health and safety plans. So, oh, well, we're just going to keep them. Same with the masks, just going to keep them. Biden made a national mask mandate. Schools and businesses started to demand masks. Who are the only people that are still wearing masks? Students and employees. Okay. Biden went ahead and made an executive order mandating vaccines for employers of more than 100 people. He knew that was going to get struck down in court, but guess what happened? Corporations went ahead and added those mandates anyway, and most people went ahead and got vaccinated anyway. Now he's going to go ahead and mandate a vaccine passport of some kind, which of course is going to be struck down on the courts. But guess what's going to happen in the meantime? Your schools, your cities, your states, your local municipalities are already going to pass these things into law. I imagine that there will be a large uprising among normal-minded people that are worried about things like freedom, bodily autonomy, how many shots and boosters do I have to get before I'm considered fully vaccinated, and exactly how long does that give me, and do I still have to wear a mask everywhere I go? Like, how about this? I will get the vaccine as long as you promise to sign a piece of paper telling me that this is the last vaccine, I am fully vaccinated, and I want that to be a continuous, it's a lifetime pass. This is not something I have to re-up. That's what I want. I want some kind of guarantee. I want something from the doctor. I want something from the company that if their product injures or kills me or makes me chronically ill and I can't work anymore, I want to know that there's some kind of recourse. None of these things feel like too much to ask, but guess what? They're just going to push enough. You know how we got here? They kept pushing and we didn't push back. They encroached just a little bit until we started to get and then we started pushing back. But guess what? They had already gotten that little bit. Now they're pushing a little bit further, pushing back, but they're already a little bit further. Now we're going to go vaccine mandates, and what, we're going to push them back to here? But now we already have vaccine mandates to get into entertainment centers. We have the city of Philadelphia is going to have a vaccine passport beginning in January for restaurants and entertainment centers, that you can't go in there unless you have a vaccine passport. So these things are already coming to pass. It's just that Biden has to make this announcement so that the rest of the Soros minions can move their players into place. This is in no way about your health. Have you heard a single doctor yet talk about sunshine, exercise, vitamin D, healthy low-fat eating? How about this? You tell me I have to get vaccinated to go into a restaurant because you think I'm unhealthy, that's fine. But fat people shouldn't be allowed to go into a restaurant and order themselves regular sodas, cheeseburgers, and french fries. How about that? Because, it's not good for their health. They're putting a strain on the American healthcare system. Hello? It's like you people don't even care about the science. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to make another incredibly accurate prediction. Most of you won't do anything. Most of you are beta cucks. And you're happy to see the American people bent over as long as you feel like you're still in the favor of the beloved Dr. Fauci and the altar of science. The altar of the science, not science, because science is like a process of continually questioning things and doing experiments over again, making sure you get the same results, sharing them with other people. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing the science, which is just whatever Dr. Fauci says it is that day. you're done. We are no longer ready to take this. This has gone entirely too far, and I'm tired of being right. I implore people of the world to wake up and hold the line, continue. There are options for filing religious and medical exemptions for these experimental products that were made using cell lines that were derived from aborted fetuses. I mean, you know, is it exactly aborted fetal DNA? No, not exactly, but it was using this this whole process just to get to their end, which is, of course, to sell more vaccines. There's something weird about the fact that they want to get this in the arms of everybody, and why? And why does everybody need to be constantly, hey, yeah, you did catch me live. Hey, Therese, that's weird. I have to go, though, because I'm running out of time on here. I got to go get the kids. And I have a realtor coming at 3 o'clock. So, yeah, that's what they're going to do. Biden's going to announce it, and he's going to make it seem it's going to be an executive order or some kind of national mandate. They're just going to, it's going to be businesses are going to implement it themselves. It's going to allow the middle class to further collapse, because once small businesses are saddled with this additional responsibility, customers are just not going to come. People are not going to work there. They're going to shut down. This is how we collapse the middle class, literally from the inside. We literally are saving them the trouble because they are making announcements, and then we are collapsing ourselves. And if people haven't read a book in a while, may I recommend The Fourth Turning. It is a book about the historical significance of every 100 years or so. There is basically a financial reset. We are due for another Great Depression. And unless people wake up and start saying no now, they're just going to continue. So hold the line. That's always my advice. Yeah, hold the line. So that's how they're going to do it. I think they're just going to have their employees do it, and I don't think they really care. If employers at the beginning had just said, no, we're not doing this mask thing, we're not doing this bullshit, we're not putting stickers on our floor, like we're just not doing it. If they had held the line back then, we wouldn't be where we are now, right? So, I think we're headed for a dark place. I think that short of a great awakening of the American people and a strong will to fight back and to be uncomfortable and to be ostracized from a bullshit society that you don't want to be a part of, we just have to say no, and we just have to refuse to comply. And we just, like, I even go out, I've been going out to stores with Grace, and I'm noticing, like, when we first came back to Kentucky, I had even mentioned to my friend Tori about how I noticed that it seemed like nobody was wearing a mask. And then this media thing started, this media hype with the Omicron. And ever since the media hype, everybody's wearing masks again. And I just can't, to me, I'm baffled how and why people are still continuing to believe that this is something we need to be serious about combating, because it isn't. It is a mild cold for most, just like any respiratory virus. It can be dangerous given the wrong circumstances. If I were to die tomorrow of COVID, I would still say that I want everybody to maintain the right to inject whatever they want into their body. I kind of, that's an across the board thing. I want people to, I'm kind of libertarian in that way, in that I believe that people should be allowed to have the freedom to inject whatever they want. And yes, I mean anything, as long as they are not hurting anyone or putting anybody else in danger by their actions, which they're definitely not. I also want them to have the freedom to say no, because without the absolute freedom to say no without guilt, then we don't really have any freedom to say no at all. If no, to them just means I'll see you later. Or you have to try harder, or guilt me more, then maybe they don't have a good argument. And I know that that's very anti the science of me, but here we are. And there we go. All right, I have a hungry child looking at me, so I'm going to check you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be with you in just a moment, darling. Bye. What's up, baby girl?